Hello everyone, we're going to do a reading on Madeline Soto. So a lot has come out since my last readings. This is going to be a check-in, okay? But also I'm going to dive into some questions. So basically some psychic knows that I have psychically, as opposed to just discussing them, I am going to ask questions on them. So the questions are going to be purposely directed. Like psychically, I know the answer. So as opposed to just discussing it, I'm going to pull cards on those questions. Those I'm going to try and cover as much as I can on the platform because it's a sensitive case. And anything further, I'll let you know if it needs to go to a Patreon. Okay. So, and then you can catch it on Patreon, all right, or as a member. I might have just said that quite low, so hopefully it wasn't, you could hear me. Now you should, I thought there was only 3 parts, but there's 4 parts of Madeline. She's got her own playlist. A lot of what I've done from the first readings, before anything came out, etc., is true. You know, she was in the boot of the car for some time. There was suffocation, strangulation. And on that note, I believe there's going to be, I'm surprised they haven't come out with something additional, but I think they might be leaving it until the trial. So what I would expect, again, this is a psychic prediction, right? When it gets to the trial, there is something else that they should have found on her body that indicates a bit of abuse, okay? It's not only that there was the suffocation and the strangulation. But I do want to go into, I want to do an energy check-in on them both, on Jen and Stefan, but I want to go into some stuff because there's certain times of that evening where I felt there's high energy of some things that could have occurred. And I also want to do some, like I said, I think there's some things psychically that I know I want to do as a confirmation with the cards. I know that a lot has been coming out on the interviews with my throat is getting very swollen and radiating up to my head. And I do think there was something that might come out with her head. And if it doesn't, there was something to her head. And I think it was, I'm getting strongly on the left side, but yeah. Okay, so, 1 minute, I've lost my chain of thoughts in what I'm feeling. I'm feeling quite dizzy. So I wonder if she was given any medication that makes her feel sleepy. Yeah, sort of dizzy, you know, when you're starting to fall asleep. What did I want to say? What was I going to? Yeah, a lot of interviews have come out and I've tried to check a little bit of them. I think there's one with a police interview when Jen is on the couch. I think there's one with Stefan in an investigation room where he's stripped down and there's some photos being taken. I've watched bits of those too, not fully. And then I've also seen like loads pop up on my feed saying Woody Allen, like a Woody Allen situation in the thumbnail or like in the caption. I don't know what that is, but I have a question on that because it kind of ties in with something that I felt could be psychically. And then you'll be able to tell me if this is what she meant by it, because I don't know. I didn't watch it. And the other thing is I've mentioned that Jen knew. I've mentioned that the grandma from the very first, I didn't like her energy. And you might be like, well, Jen, yes, because Jen is obvious, but the grandma, I don't think anyone picked up on. And I just knew from her energy, she's nonchalant, but she's all there in her mind. Jen is nonchalant, but her mind is like, she's a bit numb. She's a bit blocked in her crown chakra. And it might be due to meds making her numb, but she also needs a bit of if I was on Patreon, I'd say she needs a bit of a SLAP, to wake up from her selfishness, okay, her self-focus. And it's interesting because, you know, we might have family members that, for example, are addicted to certain stuff, and they, you know, the pain they cause in terms of everyone else is cruel to them, and just self-absorbedness, but it doesn't come off in a way that you can say they're selfish. You understand what I mean? It's very difficult. And I think she does have issues, big issues. I feel like there's a lot that I want to cover. I need to pay attention to the time. It will be a longer read. I know you all want the longer reads. Kindly support the channel so that I can continue to provide content. I did get asked a question on, you know, I used to provide content every single evening, and a couple of times it would be, you know, two videos in throughout the 24 hours, two videos, evening, depending where you are in the world, or it could be a bit of daytime if I'm doing it, if I'm posting it sort of late afternoon UK time. I think I've explained the issues, and so that can be overcome through your help and not guidance, support, however you wish to support. The last thing I want to say is when a video is in a live premiere, most of the time I jump on so that, you know, we can engage. That way, you know, it's like a live, but I'm not focusing on anything else. I do lives at the certain tiers of Patreon, but again, they're, in terms of social media Patreon, they are growing, and so is the members. So what I'm doing is taking questions, either recording it or as a live. There's Patreon that you can join to support, 2 tiers. There's memberships you can join to support. I've explained where a bit more of a percentage might come to me. You can donate directly via PayPal, and it can be seen as like buying me a coffee. It can be anything to do with that. If you want my Amazon or Etsy wish list in terms of tarot decks, so we can add to certain readings, then you can put a comment and I'll let you know. And like, engage, support, subscribe if you enjoy the channel. If you don't, I'm not asking you to do anything, okay? So before I get any stupid comments, thank you. Now, let's do a current check-in on I do want to say that I think Jen is going to be held accountable for something, okay? How the end result of the sentence or something like that, conviction, I need to tap into. But there's something that I think is building up and she's going to be held accountable for. Let's just, before I dive deeper into the timings that I felt were very much of concern that evening, because I believe she was already gone by the early hours of the morning, which is what I'm going to dive into in this read. I am going to do a check-in on Stefan, and then I'm going to do a check-in on Jen, and then I'm going to do some questions, and then I'm going to do a bit more on Jen, okay? I don't want to tap into the grandma. It does my head in. I don't like her energy. You know, if someone is fully there but nonchalant, could have saved someone, it really pees me off. This is what you can expect from Patreon, a bit more of a assertive. Okay, so let's see how Jen is feeling currently. And to be honest, you know, Spirit was telling me to use the traditional, but so let's do the traditional and listen to what I should be doing. Okay. So how is Jen Soto feeling right now? World turned a bit upside down. I wonder if she's having difficulties with her job at this moment in time, you know, either going to the job There's definitely, obviously, an imbalance, not an imbalance, I don't want to say imbalance, but basically, things are not going the right way. Okay, what I see here is that she's holding on to, though, she's holding on to her story, she's holding on to what she has, and I don't think this is to do with money. Some might indicate it's really relating to her holding on to her money, and I don't think it's to do with that. I think it's to do with her holding on to things. But she's also experiencing. That's why I'm not sure if she's if she's left her job or she's losing her job. I think, here there's an indication of that this moment, that she might not be working, or maybe she's felt it very embarrassing, and maybe they've said you need to leave right now because there's an image that is being put on the job. But I think she could be losing her job and not working anymore. I also see that instead of that, she could be claiming some sort of benefits. And I don't mean benefits because Maddie's Xing, and I'm forgetting that I'm on YouTube here. I'm being very open. So disclaimer, this is for intent purposes only. Please use your own fact finding. I am only doing this as I don't like to say I'm just a simple girl or tarot card reader, because, I recently have been doing a lot of cases on heavy cases. And one of them that I really feel is very heavy and is really getting to is the Menendez brothers. I did not know about this. It's heartbreaking. I don't know the full story, but I think there's injustice. Some people are going to be pissed off that I've said that. But if you want that reading, I'm thinking about doing it just because I think there needs to be a voice out there. It's disgusting. Don't get me wound up. Okay, so here we go. I am wound up about that case. Really am. Really. And I'll explain why. I'll be doing it anyway for members and patrons, but if you want it on subscribers, then I have to do it a bit more sensitively, getting the same message out. So that's why I asked if you want it. Let me know in the comments. And here, so I definitely think there's a loss, but there's a benefits. And I don't mean that, for example, there's a social benefits. What I mean by that is that, for example, what could it be? Disability benefit from the government. In the UK, we have that. I presume you have something like that in the US. It can't be too different. And I actually want to see how her relationship with her mother is at this moment in time. I think in one of the interviews she said, "Can I call my sister?" or something like that. In one of the, I was skimming through it, and I didn't know she had a sister. So I hope I'm remembering that right. But she's disconnected. She's disconnected, but she's probably getting money from disability. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. How is Jen feeling at this moment in time? So this is what's going on with her. How is she feeling at this moment in time? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so I definitely think it's interesting. Very interesting how we start off with this energy and then there's a turn and it comes out like this right now. This is really interesting because they're indicators of the same meaning, but they turn kind of upright of what I've channeled. So I definitely think, yes, she's receiving some form of benefits. I think it's that spirit confirming that to me. Okay. I don't know if there is some form of benefit or loss thing that she could be coming towards her because of Madeline. There's something about the past here. The Ten of Cups is really, really strange. Again, just like her. Strange. Let's see. Ten of Cups, please. Ten of Cups, please. Queen of Pentacles. I think this might be around her mum. But you know what? I don't know. I think she needs to be careful because when I was thinking about doing this reading, I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if she gets into another relationship straight away. So she's masking her pain and all things that could come up. But if she does that, we need to be careful because I think this new beginning, if someone enters her life, I'm not sure he would be entering for the right reasons. I mean, I'm not saying Stefan did for the right reasons, but it wouldn't be for a relationship. It might be for a more or less maybe sex or some kind of it wouldn't be a good energy fit. Like she's not in the energy that would bring her a healthy relationship. I don't think she should. So here I see like there is something where she's trying to focus on her home and her happy outcome at this moment in time. And that focus might be trying to deal with a new start by focusing on maybe her home and money and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. This could be that she's working as, or, you know, on the side trying to, I think they said that some of the rooms were rented out. I think that might be something she's working on. There's some sort of kind of split the deck, page of pentacles. Yeah, there's something that's just kind of like, it wouldn't be recognized as a full job, but it's kind of like trying to increase monies that way. And it's linked to the house, and I think it's linked to the roommates. Now look at the amount of money involvement here, and I think it's to do with masking whatever she's feeling. I'm going to pull more cards. You know, this just tells you how she's not in the right space. Like, I don't mean like she's not in the right place because she's grieving, but there's a disconnect. There's an absolute disconnect here. So what else do we need to know? 2 more cards for her only. Yeah, so this is where I said she's focusing on some kind of new beginning. And again, around kind of something around a long-term plan about money, and it's to mask that inner conflict and possible external conflict where it could be that she can't work at this place anymore. But I feel like this new beginning is kind of like she's doing this, what I mentioned, but as a long-term strategy. She's thinking of something a bit long-term, and I think it's to mask a little bit of everything that is actually falling off. Split the deck, Empress. I think there is something to do with her mum, right? So that's why I probably want to do that check-in. Right, okay, so let's, there's some kind of energy of her mum in her energy. I don't mean involved in this, right? Let's look at her and her mum at this moment in time. The downloads that I would get from, you know, the visions were horrible. And I actually mentioned a few which probably made the channel also very sensitive. And again, you're the ones that can help support the channel should you wish to. Okay, so how is the relationship between Jen and her mom this moment in time? How is the relationship? Overall, how is the relationship? I can see the 9 of Swords. That's that one. I think that is there. Not coming out. We're going to take what comes out. 9 of Pentacles. I think it's going to fall. Okay. I think that's the 9 of Swords, or 10 of Swords. Okay, but it's not popped out, so we're going to continue. This is in the Knight of Pentacles, the long-term plan, long-term financial plan. So there is something where I said the mother's around at the moment. So it's a transitional period at the moment in their lives, or the energy between them. Okay, let's see. There is a burden. There's a heavy burden, which there is, you know, Madeline Soto's death. But I don't think that they're necessarily, I don't know. I feel like the grandmother probably can say, you know, I don't really like the way my daughter's a bit disconnected or weak or something like that. Three of Wands. This is really interesting. Why are they weird? Right. So there's a heavy burden. Okay. There's a transition period between them, their overall energy. But there is something that's coming in. Okay, there's something between them, and I think it's around communication that they're doing together, you know, communicating. So I do think that they're communicating. Overall energy, 2 more between them. Ace of Pentacles, overall energy between them. Okay, so I think there's something about trying to start afresh on something. But I think as well, it's kind of like you didn't want to see this Stefan in the right way, right? And I think this is both of them, to be honest with you. But I think the mother is pinpointing it at Maddie. Like, for example, I didn't like him. You know, I didn't like him. But then the grandmother, she actually knew, sorry, pointing at Jen, that, you know, you didn't want to see him in the right way. You just turned a blind eye, and you just knew that you had to make right decisions that you found really challenging, and gave you angst. And so you wasn't doing that, and you were seeing the person in the wrong way of what they were doing. Now, in terms of the grandmother, she might be like, because she's saying that because she might have said, I don't really like this guy. However, the grandmother had an inkling of what was happening and knew that Maddie didn't want to go home or whatever. She had the clues. So it's a bit of both ways here. It's interesting. Right. So now let's look at how is Jen feeling towards her mum. I do think they're talking, okay, so they are talking. How is Jen feeling towards her mum? And then how is her mum feeling towards her? How? I definitely think that Jen Soto believes that her mum has, you know, she feels very victimized in this. She feels her hands were tied in terms of what she could have done around the family dynamic as well. I don't think she's able, Jen, to get past something of the past when it comes to her mother or her childhood. She's not wanting to let go of negative emotions, and she does feel like she's rooted in lack of helplessness, and she does feel a devastation, a loss around what she felt was a happy home. But I feel like this was delusional. And the Temperance card here, trying to come into balance. I wonder if anyone, what is the grandmother's sign? What does the grandma feel, which is Jen Soto's mother, towards Jen at this moment in time? How are they feeling? How is the grand feeling towards her daughter? How is the grand feeling? There's one card on the floor I just need to get. Six of Cups in reverse. The past is coming into balance. All right, that is what she's feeling. She's absolutely feeling any past of, you know, Maddie's childhood is coming into focus. But she's also a bit stuck in the past. Her mother feels a bit stuck in the past. I wonder if she feels like she's regretting something. But I also wonder if she's not forgiving herself. Like she's, hang on a sec, let's just get another card. No, it's nothing to do with not forgiving herself. So it's regret. So, because I don't feel she's someone that wouldn't forgive herself, but she does have regrets of the past. And she does feel like that balance is coming into order at this moment in time, which is very interesting. 1 second. By the way, one of them gives me a bit of Libra in their top placements. Does anyone have? And there's somebody who has blonde hair. Blonde hair that is in their past, that is on the mother's mind. Could this be the bio dad of Maddie? Could it be her sister who has blonde hair? No, I feel like it's a male figure. So it could be an ex of the gran, but it could also be what I'm thinking, the bio of Maddie. And I'm not sure if he has like a lighter blondish hair. Yeah, she's up in her mental space at this moment in time. And what is she? Is she a bit closed off at this moment in time? I'm tying it into two of the cards. One minute she feels like she has the power, and I think this comes to like not being seen as involved, and the next minute she's feeling a bit depressed about the whole situation. Told to look at the bottom of the deck. She could be dealing with a bit of health matters like depression. She could be feeling a bit depressed at this moment in time. Okay. I want to look at 11 o'clock on the 26th, okay? Because I feel like between 11 and 3:34 a.m. are critical times as well, okay? So let's have a look. 26th of February, 11 a.m. What time did they come back from the birthday? Because that also gets me, like, your daughter's just had her birthday, and I thought Jen wanted to sleep, but then what was said, she has a doctor's appointment the next day, and it seemed like she had a day off. So surely you can spend some time chatting with your daughter, although the daughter has school the next day. She did say she did, but I don't know how long that would have been. So 11 a.m., around 11 a.m., is there anything significant that happened? Show me. Around 11 a.m. If this comes with no... Okay. It's interesting. I wasn't sure if Spirit wanted me to take... I got told to take which card, but as I pulled it... can you see how I mentioned 11 a.m. is key? I think there was some kind of... Okay, so at this stage, someone has taken, you know, there's been talks of meds involved. I don't know if there's also a bit of drinking. That is here. That is present. 11 a.m. Either somebody was given their meds, taken their meds, she took her meds that calm her down to sleep, whatever she says she takes. But it's a bit key here because there is a discussion that occurs. There is a bit. And, you know, when I was thinking about around that evening, and I don't know if it's this time, it's like before, you know, she was said to send her up to the bedroom, etc. It's kind of like Madeline kind of says something, and then Jen is like, you know, I can't be dealing with this. I need to chill out. I need to, I don't know, have her food, do her chill time, and some other stuff. And then Madeline's like, but you always say that. That's all what you say. You just always say that. And it's kind of like, then, I don't know if she says, we'll go up to your room. Or she's just like, I can't deal with this. And Maddie's like, but you always say that, Mum. So it's kind of like something happened here, right? Just show me some more. So Spirit is saying to get this step. Anything between 11 and 12. Let's go within the hour. Knight of Wands. You know, she could have been, it could have been around 11, 12 that this has occurred. And that's why I felt 11 o'clock was significant. I definitely think that evening, and I saw it in what I was channeling prior, that the stepdad had his way, did some stuff with Madeline. And I think, you know, around the 11, let's give it 11 till 12, just 11 till 1 or 12, whatever. It's key is 11. After 11, within this time frame, I think Madeline was going, you know, he had got his wish fulfillment, and that could have been like go up to the room, whatever it was. So I think she sent them up earlier than 11. Okay, I don't know what's the time frame, but this is what's happened. And prior to that, there was that kind of discussion between her and her mum. I don't know what that was. Told to look at the bottom of the deck, Sun in reverse, regarding the discussion that happened prior to this. Okay, something didn't go in, you know, it wasn't like a nice discussion with a happy ending. And I don't mean that this is what resulted here. What I mean is like someone didn't get their way. Okay, and it might have been Maddie who said, you know, like I said, you always say that, Mum, and she felt disappointed. But it was after that, and it's definitely around 11 a.m. And I wanted to say just till 1 a.m. to give it, but it seems like Spirit is really narrowing it down for me. To like 11. Yeah, I get stuck at 11. And it could be 11, but I get 01 as well, like, so it could be 12:01, and I get an O with that. I'm getting stuck at the 11, and it could be 11:01. I know that's very precise. That is significant. But I do want to say, give it a couple of hours, and Spirits tell me no. I'm going to respect that, just because let's look at around the 3 o'clock mark. Okay, I'm finding this difficult right now, not to read, but I'm getting dizzy, and it's just horrible, isn't it? Okay, so let's look around the 3 o'clock mark. 3 o'clock. Let's say 3 o'clock, but let's say 2 to 3, or if it's 3:30, okay, let's just keep it generic. I somehow can't concentrate while I see this, so I'm going to put this back, right? I really feel there's a gut punch. I don't know if I got that in the first reading as well. I know that I got maybe heavy placement on her chest, but that's not the reason. That's when he used to be doing certain things. Which deck, please, Spirit? This is really heavy. Not this deck. This one. Okay. So let's say around 2 to 3, 3:30, but I really feel it's around 3. Let's see what comes up around that time. 3 o'clock, please, Spirit. 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Okay. Around 3 o'clock. So hang on a sec. Let's just see. Around 3, was any of them sleeping? One more card. Someone was sleeping at 3 a.m. Okay, so let's see. And now split that down. Was Jen sleeping at 3 a.m.? Jen was sleeping at 3 a.m. Okay. Was Stefan sleeping at 3 a.m.? Yes. Was Maddie sleeping at 3 a.m.? Yes. Okay. Yes. Maddie was no longer with us by 3 a.m. I want to ask again, okay, in a different way to make sure. Too many cards. Told to take this card. She wasn't alive at 7 a.m. allegedly, okay? So, did something happen and they went to sleep? So, seeing as they were sleeping, I'm going to change this question. Okay, let's change that question. We know she wasn't dropped off in the car. She knew that morning that Maddie was no longer with us. What I asked is, did she know? So I knew that in the past, I haven't watched any of my readings, but I remember recalling that I would confirm the mother knew the SA was happening, or there was that sort of stuff. She was playing nonchalant, but I didn't say about this, and okay, let's ask for a more precise time. I think did I just do it? I know. So she did know that morning that Maddie was no longer with us. So okay, need to change the question. Okay, let's just double check before I share that. I'm going to take the top card. Oh God, I can't get the answer. Okay. How can I not get the answer? I'm getting that she knew any time before 7 a.m. that Maddie was no longer alive. Did she know after 7 a.m.? I'm getting a yes, but also it's a no. Let's try again, okay? Because the card gives me yes, but the card's position is giving me the no, right? So no, it wasn't after 7 a.m. that she knew, okay? Yes, before 7 a.m. she knew Maddie was no longer alive. And I'm going to check one last question. No, because it confirms that. Okay, so before 7 a.m. she knew Maddie was no longer alive. Okay, she knew something bad had happened. She knew the girl was no longer alive, whatever it is. After 7 a.m., she'd already known. So it wasn't after 7 a.m. that she knew this. Oops. Let's do a double confirmation, okay? Oh, my stomach hurts. Hang on a sec. One last time. What was my question? Oh, what was my question? Crap. No, I have to get it. Okay. Top card, okay? She wasn't asleep when Maddie was unalived. So whether she was downstairs, still awake, she was not asleep when Maddie was unalived. Okay. I'm not saying she was in the room or she took part yet. I'm not diving into that yet. But she could have been downstairs when Maddie no longer was alive. And I've got double confirmation. As you know, I like to OCD on confirmations when pinpointing to someone. Okay, let's see. I've got more questions on what I've psychically downloaded. So the Woody Allen, I don't know how she said it or how that came across, or if she did say it, or just people picking up and putting it on the thumbnails. You know, like a trend that happens. Is the Woody... Oh, I've got another question I want to ask. I'm just going to write it. Okay. Oh, I've got another question. Hang on a sec. I'm getting so many questions of downloads that I've got. Okay, so now I want to ask, so what did she mean by that? Was she frightened that Stefan would end up taking Maddie away and kind of them getting married after legal age, or what? Like, Woody Allen, wasn't he the one that... Did he get married or love his stepdaughter and then they went off to live together? I don't know how that ended up. Something like that. Is that what she meant? Can someone tell me? I'm going to ask that question because I didn't watch how it came up and I don't know if that's the words used, but I'm going to ask it this way. So did Jen Soto allegedly fear Stefan would run off with Maddie either for love or either just take her away, kidnap her. And I don't know why I'm getting Spirit saying also, okay, write it down. Ask, it's like a download I'm getting. Stefan threatened, like just to scare Jen Soto. Stefan, did he threaten Jen Soto? He would run off with Madeline. Not necessarily just for because of the SEX, but in general. Like to hurt Jen, like I'm gonna take Maddie, like kidnap, not kid. You know what I mean? Just take her away, nap, kid, nap. So not saying I'm gonna do it so that I'm gonna take her so then I'm, you know, before, so she's all mine for the SEX, but just in general, I'm going to take it from you to hurt you. Okay. But let's ask this question. Did Jen Soto mean it in the terms, did she say it? And if she said it, that's when I'm asking it. Okay. So I'm just taking it as if she said it. Hopefully the cards align with me. Sometimes if they give me a weird answer, it means she might have not said it. Because she thought Stefan would take Maddie away from her. Showing me that energy. Yeah, she definitely had fears around that. She'd also in the past had fears that the bio dad could take Maddie away from her. There's so many questions that could go into this. But there was, so the second part, there was veiled threats here. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she did. Absolutely, and here she is. Which, you know, might have added to the reason of trying to keep a blind eye, which I see here. Look, can you see she's closing her eyes? I've just paid attention to that. So I don't know how that thing was mentioned, and I don't mean it, she's like, I'm going to get into that in a second question. Was there any jealousy? But I think she was frightened, regardless for whatever reasons. Stefan was going to take, is this candle gone out? Madeline away from her. And for some reason, I feel like he knew that that would hurt her. I'm going to ask that in a separate question because it's a bit deep. So I'm going to leave this here. If you enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe. Check out the previous 4 readings and you're going to see validations, which might then make you feel like, you know, you feel like you can watch the channel as opposed to thinking, if you're new to the channel's small, this person must be crap at what they do. Which we all sometimes have that perception, but you need to be authentic. I've seen a lot of people or channels or creators that are very small when they start off, and you know what, something speaks to me, whether it's their energy of authenticity, whatever it is, okay, and you don't always have to agree. I don't know why the Angels of Light card is calling me to pull an advice card, but an advice for who right now? Advice for us? Advice for Jen. Okay, let's see. What's Jen's advice right now? Advice for Jen right now. Take the top card, not the bottom. Adventure. The face adventure of life. Face adventure of life eagerly. Get out of your habits. Get out of your ruts, which you are stuck in. Told you she was stuck in her own thing, in her own world, disconnected from a crown. Do things differently. face life with a sense of wonder. So basically, I think they're saying get out of your own Eight of Swords, basically. Get out of the darkness and stop exploring that darkness. Ask your angels to light the way for you and watch for the signs and signals to tell you where and how to go. So why I'm being careful about this is because you might be thinking, well, why are we giving her advice to live her life? No. I believe Spirit is bringing this to say, you know, it's time you wake up. Can you remember at the start I said she needs an SLAP, right? Wake up. You know, the meds that are numbing you, whatever you're going through, it's always this kind of energy. And you know what? These people also drain you because they look after themselves, but you're heartbroken over them, seeing them as well. And I don't necessarily mean Jen, but I mean if you've got a family member in this kind of thing, some of you will understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's exactly as we've been saying. I said she's stuck in her own ruts. She's stuck in her own habits, her own routines. She's not looking. She was not looking beyond, and it's exactly what it's supposed to be. And it's saying here, I think that's all that I was supposed to say. You know, just basically confirming what I said. I get a strong yes from Spirit. Okay, so, all right, why am I getting told to continue right now? Okay, last cards for Jen Soto. Last card. What do you want to say, Spirit? Oh, okay. What does Maddie want to say? Okay, I got it. I've got it. And the Four of Cups is what I'm seeing. Four of Cups is what I'm seeing, and it's kind of like Four of Cups is when they're off, but I'm seeing Four of Cups is basically like you just, oh, I want to cry. You just, you just gave me away so easily. I can't remember. I can't remember how the Four of Cups looks here, because sometimes in decks they look different. Oh. It's okay, it's just because obviously I'm channeling energy and it's upsetting. Case. This is what I would have expected to see more of. The Four of Cups is probably the last bloody card, isn't it? If you're a card creator, tarot deck creator, yes, probably my channel is small and I can't promote you as much, but if you want to send me a tarot deck, you can there we go. Can you see? Let me just put it here. It wasn't this card, second to last card. You just gave me away so easily. Anything else? Let's see. Members, Patreons, look for an extended. Look for an extended. Patreons especially, yeah. And then I'm going to link it for a member. Or anyone who comes on board in the meantime as that member. Judgment card at the bottom. Your judgment day is coming. Okay, I'm not necessarily saying Maddie's saying that, Spirit is saying that. Your judgment day is coming, Jen. Okay, so any last cards from Madeline Soto? Any last cards? Emperor in reverse. I think she feels her father could have been more in her life, but she doesn't blame her father. Her father could have been more in her life. When you're taking the top card. But as a protector, the father figure as a protector wasn't there. Any more messages? Any more messages? I'm also getting told an Aries energy. Yeah, and that father figure. It's interesting. I'm brought to the energy of the mother holding the child here. Can you see? And she's crying. I hope you can see that closely here. So she's definitely confirming he did it. But there's still secrets not being told. And someone believes they've pulled one over, like they've won in a situation, and I don't think they realize how fast something is coming towards them. Show me more, Maddie. Yeah, they think they've pulled a fast one. I don't know who this is. It could be Jen, but I feel like it could be someone else as well. It could be Jen. So they've pulled a fast one, but you know, there's going to be something that's going to hit them quite fast. Let's get more. Last two cards, Maddie. One more. One more. The past has not been loving. The past has not been kind. I'm going into a channel in here. Oh. I'm just going to leave it at her past has not been kind to her. Okay. I'm not going to go into the full channeling. I might channel to get the message out there. So let's say a prayer for Maddie. I know that everyone is praying for her. And I'm sure she's on her healing journey right now. And if you enjoyed this read and this style of reading, let me know. Patrons, look out for the extended. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now, everyone. Stay blessed. And look out for the next Diddy one and the next reads that are coming up. If you've not checked the September predictions, I highly recommend you check the September predictions, and you will see 80% has come up through already. Okay, and there will be the next one, October. The reason I didn't do mid-September is because when people see mid-September, they think, oh, that's the newest one, the other one's taken over. No, the one I did for September was the main one, and a lot of it came to fruition, and I felt like it was the main thing. All right, everyone, so take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed. Bye for now.